Hey everybody, Jimmy with the Triple C Collective, and
Collin here.
yes, hey Collin.
Hey.
And you know what? Today we're bringing you not Bad Batch, but we're bringing you episode. We'll go chapter 17 of season 3 of The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
Apostate, and I'm super stoked for this.
Yeah.
Love The Mandalorian. Love everything about it. But hold on, before we dive in, let's give a warning of like what people should have seen up until this point.
Right.
Sure
why he's even called an apostate. Why it's called apostate.
I'm not even saying that.
Well, because if you don't watch what we're telling you to watch, you wouldn't even know why he's an apostate necessarily.
Exactly. So make sure you watch seasons 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian. If you haven't done that already and you're listening to us, please pause for a second, go back, watch those. Come back here. Well, no, actually, watch that. Then watch episodes 4, 5, and 6 of The Book of Boba Fett. They have, at least episodes 4 and 5 have a lot of major things happening to The Mandalorian and Grogu, for all intents and purposes. So it's a must watch.
Yeah, 4 and 5 are basically episodes of The Mandalorian.
Yeah. They're literally
6
like
more is just kind of is getting back into the Book of Boba Fett. So it's not as necessary, but there's things in it. Yeah, for sure.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
But so
Just watch them.
definitely watch. If you didn't,
Because they go full tilt. They do not. They expect you to have watched it. They expect you to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because right at the beginning they'll get into it. Anyway, we'll get into it.
Absolutely. And so
Also watch Clone Wars. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. We'll explain some of that stuff.
That might help, but that's beside the
Yeah.
point. You definitely, again, Mandalorian season 1 and 2, Book of Boba Fett episodes 4, 5, and 6. If you've watched all that, we're ready to go. You're all caught up to date on the Mandalorian. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the episode.
Yep.
Man.
We start off with Homegirl. We start off with the armorer in a new place because last we saw her, she was on like a space dock, basically.
Yeah.
Because you could see the stars around her, but and all that stuff when
Yeah.
you showed up. Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett.
But now she's back on a planet, clearly, and she's building something, and you see she's built a new helmet. She walks it out of the cave that she's working out of, and you see a bunch of Mandalorians. This is a cool scene. You see a bunch of Mandalorians.
This is really awesome because
who aren't apostates.
Yeah, well, because think
Blasphemer.
about it. Because we keep seeing virtually this same group be together for a while. Because we saw them in season 1 when they show up and they reveal themselves in the streets and they actually help out Din Djarin during season 1.
They call them they've been called the Watch, the Children of the Watch, all that stuff. You might know them as their start, which was the Death Watch, which again was Clone Wars Rebels stuff. So again, you don't have to watch that, but it does help.
Prequel era.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of the Darksaber stuff comes from there too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, but anyway, so we're at this baptism, for lack of a better word, of a new Mandalorian, and it looks like we both noted.
Yeah. Before
we thought it was both a young Din Djarin.
Yeah,
because it would have made sense. We saw a young Din Djarin already getting saved from the robot, from the droid, and
in the Mandalorian, saving him and like taking him and
one of the members of the Death Watch come and saving him,
and doing basically this. The only thing that we really haven't seen from like we saw him getting saved, but we never saw like the ceremonial like turning.
So instead of showing us his ceremony, we saw this is just some other Mandalorian becoming a Mandalorian, and it's a really cool scene to see, but it's disrupted pretty quickly by this giant monster thing.
I mean, it's an armored alligator.
Yeah, right. It's giant. What's that? Lake Placid.
Yeah, dude.
like giant alligator, like crocodile alligator, fatter, around the neck and stuff. But it does act like an alligator or crocodile.
Yeah, but it's so cool. I just love creatures. Like anytime
and also seeing this group of Mandalorians each use their different ability.
Yeah. Whatever
really
their
cool
specialty kind of is.
Yeah, they all do like similar things. They're just doing them at different points, and it's really cool. And you see women and men and kids as Mandalorians fighting against this giant monster together.
Yeah.
And the heavy armorer, whose name is, what's his name? It's Paz Vizsla. It's Paz Vizsla. Yeah, because there's like the whole line of Vizslas. So the Darksaber was created by Tar Vizsla, who's the first one that created the clan Vizsla, and that's why in those episodes of Book of Boba Fett they have that fight.
Yeah.
That's why Paz is like the heavy armorer. We knew him as, in the first season, who's played by he voiced by what's his name from that directs it.
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau, yeah. Who also voiced Pre-Vizsla in Clone Wars or Rebels, I forget which one. And then Rebels. And he voiced that on like an off day.
Yeah.
It was weird. Off day of shooting Iron Man or something like that. Anyway, he was like, yeah, I'll play that character. And they literally created the Darksaber in that moment just because of this off day that he had. So anyway, we see Paz Vizsla about to get eaten by this giant crocodile thing, for lack of a better word. Giant monster that I don't know the name of because I don't, as far as I could find in the lore, I didn't see anything that was named after. But anyway, it's about to attack him, and you see the new Naboo starfighter come up and take a few shots at it that actually affect it.
But I gotta say, this whole thing, the Mandalorian, so like. There's a little kid who almost gets this whole scene of where the Mandalorian shows up could not have been set up even better because there's a kid who's about to get hit. The Vizsla guy just knocks this kid out barely out of time, shooting the monster with an open mouth.
Clearly about to take his own life.
It's getting ready to take the Vizsla dude, and then as soon as we hear the fire and the bullet or whatever, the blasters, the lasers from the Naboo fighter that the Mandalorian remade,
which again you needed to see Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, you need to see Book of Boba Fett to know what's going on with that.
Why is Anakin Skywalker showing up?
But
shiny.
The timing of the theme and the hit of the shot and the explosion, and then you get it, and as he's flying away, you get the rest of the and oh man, it's so good.
Great.
It's great stuff. You see Grogu in there,
and also he fought. Him and Paz fought, so it's he's saving somebody that challenged him. I don't think it was 2 days ago, but it was he challenged him, and he's ready to save his life. He's ready to save these people who don't even consider him an equal anymore. It shows again his character that he just is very.
This is the way.
Yep, he's very much he wants to live by the creed of Mandalorians.
Well, it's what he knows. It's the only thing he knows, and he misses being a part of that. He also has Grogu with him, who he wants to bring into being a Mandalorian as well and everything, or at least allow him the option to.
Which is super interesting because Mandalorians used to fight Jedi. That was their whole thing. That's why they became a thing. Their planet. They paid a Jedi and they fought. And now there's our first Jedi adjacent character basically being trained to become a Mandalorian, which is very cool. Very cool.
I love it. But so after this amazing opening, goddamn, just a way to open an episode. After all of this, we get back inside the caves and stuff that they're at, which is very interesting that they moved back, that they moved into some caves because back on Mandalore they had the mines where you can bathe in the waters to redeem yourself. And that's really the conversation we're having in this cave here, the armorer's workshop.
She's reminding the audience basically during this portion that he's not a Mandalorian anymore. He's the Apostate. He's the one that took his helmet off, and he is just not until he bathes in the rivers of Mandalore, which they don't even think exist anymore. Even true believers like her think we're crystallized in this event that you saw. The bombers dropping so many bombs that it crystallized this entire planet, so they think there's nothing left on there. He brings...
And it's poisoned.
Yeah.
It's all crystallized and poisoned.
Yep, exactly. You don't want to go there. There's no reason to be there. You're going to die. Jabba's, though, the best. They're the coolest. They're going to... They brought him some crystallized object that shows that something's going on in Mandalore, and he's gonna go down there. He's gonna go to the planet.
Well,
they're legitimizing his side quest all throughout this episode, and I love it. There's so many little quests he has to go on, and there's little character beats that he hits that it's legitimizing all these side quests that normally weren't like necessarily legitimized. There was just like at the end of the episode, it'd be like, well, I guess we're going to this doing this new thing at the end, at next episode. But yeah, this laid the groundwork for a lot of little good things.
I loved it. I love that he's like, well, doesn't this prove that at least we can get something there? Because what he shows is a green crystallized thing in it, but it also then has stone, I guess like hieroglyphics, almost basically like the Mandalorian script,
language,
like the Mandalorian script and stuff on there. But it's just a very little piece, but you get to see it, and his point being is like, if this survives, we've got to see what else is there.
Right.
And like him being almost in like the crazed frenzy of like, I have to get like my honor back, I got to get back with my clan and everything like that, like which is great. To see like, you know, the pressing and whatever, but I'm also excited to see like where this all leads to, long and short.
Exactly.
It's like this exploring of Mandalore.
Yeah, because we've seen in previews that clearly they go to this Mandalore planet, and but it maybe even next week. But anyway, it's very interesting because you see later too that clearly someone else doesn't believe that it's possible to go to this planet either. But right now he's basically getting his first quest, which is go back to Mandalore, bathe in the rivers, bring me proof that you did that. Maybe we'll talk about you being a Mandalorian again.
The armorer's answer isn't even that. Like like Din says all of that stuff, you know, like the exile should be lifted, and then she. Like, we got a long pause. Like, dude, I was uncomfortable, like, during this pause. And then she's like, this is the way. And I was like, oh, my God, this whole season's about redemption. So, like, this is going to be great. And if I'm going to be honest, we get, like, one of the coolest, probably the most important things that if you were a fan of, as Collin was saying, you know, Clone Wars Rebels... is what we get in this hyperspace travel, is when he leaves whatever planet he was on. They don't really say or really kind of give us a thing.
But he's traveling through hyperspace.
But he's traveling through hyperspace. He's asleep, and Grogu's up and looking around. What does he see? Purrgil. Oh, dude.
These giant whales that live in hyperspace, basically. They travel through hyperspace. They're able to travel naturally through hyperspace. And we see those characters... which also hinted a bigger character, which we know we're gonna see, which has been cast in Ahsoka, but it's really cool to see live action, just even a hint at him in the hyperspace.
Well, because
you could blink and miss,
you
very very easily just think it's just part of the special effects.
Yeah,
but it's very clear.
Or just like because the way that they've always done hyperspace though throughout all of Star Wars is they have this like. These different shades of like 3 different shades of blue almost. It's like a blue white. I would say just like a sky blue, and then it's like a darker, not quite navy blue, but a darker blue
almost black blue.
Yeah, almost. So maybe even closer to a navy then. But it's the Purrgil that you see in the hyperspace blends in with that like darker.
Yeah, they look like clouds in the back. If you like I said, if you blink, you miss. But just know that those characters are those animals are very important in the lore. Because they took Ezra and another very important character to the Ahsoka series. Thrawn is going to be... they got taken away by those characters to the Outer Rim.
If you watch Season 2 of Mandalorian, you heard Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka ask for Thrawn.
She's already looking for Thrawn. Yeah. We know this character's coming. It's not anything...
So, like, again, like we said at the top, make sure you've rewatched that stuff that we told you to. But, dude, man, seeing this is awesome. And then, of course, we go visit some old friends on Navarro.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Navarro is so cool to see. The planet's just clearly thriving. It's part of the Halian way.
At least this port is.
Because
it's in the Outer Rim.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So was it Grief Karga?
Yeah.
Grief Karga's running this planet well.
Carl
put it
Weathers.
That way. Yeah. Carl Weathers, of course.
Well, I think this is one of my favorite things. Is like he's walking around He's walking
Those
around and
robes.
everything, and then High Magistrate.
Right, High Magistrate.
High
right.
Magistrate Grief Karga has two little droids holding the tail ends of his like.
He knows how to
cape
spend
or
his money,
whatever.
man. Yeah. He made him a part of the Hylian Way, which is a very important trade route.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it's a very important trade route in the Star Wars universe, and he's made it part of that trade route. And he's trying to turn it into this like touristy place. I was looking for an M&M store. Because he's basically turned like this like gritty place into a thriving like mecca that tourists can go to, and there's little C-3PO droids walking around basically, and R5 units and gonk droids in the background of this scene. It's very droid heavy before you even understand why.
Yeah.
There's like in the background there's a lot of droids, and it's very clean and pristine. And this town's kind of cool, honestly.
We also got the IG-11 statue
I loved it
in like
at this
the
point.
town center,
Yeah,
basically.
so the town center. We saw this IG-11 statue last season, I think at the beginning. So when he was building this town up.
Yeah.
And then now we see it again, and we're forced to remember that it's actually pieces of him are the statue. So and Din's like, I need a droid, and this is the only droid I like, because in the first season he was very like droidist.
Yeah.
He did he did not like droids. He was almost his whole like family and stuff was taken out by droids, and it was clearly a deep-seated hatred he had. And it took him a long time to trust him, and IG-11 was the first one he trusted. So he's like, I don't want any droid, I want this droid.
Yeah.
And Grief's like, okay.
We're jumping a little ahead there.
Yeah. I don't think so, but I got these guys I know, which is very cool.
Well, first, before we even get just there for the droid, we're in the High Magistrate's office, and Karga the entire time is just like, I want to give you land, a place, and I want you to do this, and this for me, and like I want to pay you a bunch of money, just live off the fat of the land. It'll be
You're
beautiful.
no longer a Mandalorian. Why don't you come here? You'll be super accepted here.
And he's like, yeah, you can just be here. It'll be fine.
Right.
And the entire time, Din's like, nah, it's complicated. Like
go get Cara Dune to
like,
do that.
like-
He's like, no, Cara's doing this other stuff. They wrote that off real quick, which is like,
special,
they can do whatever they want.
She
whatever.
got recruited by special forces.
Yeah.
She's
So
not there
anyway,
anymore.
he needs somebody to be the marshal here, which also reminds you of dude in the back of the tank hanging out right now.
Yeah, Cobb Vanth.
Yeah, Cobb Vanth. He's in the back of the tank hanging out with Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Saved him, right?
Yeah, he's hanging out there. So like, we'll see what happens with that if we get him to show up.
Because there's a marshal laying out there just in
Yeah.
the universe. Like, they're just hanging out in the back of the tank. Might as well open him up.
Especially
crack open the back of the
at
tank.
that point, like where they are there, like Boba Fett is like running that land and everything over there.
And
so,
Boba Fett
like,
clearly wants to go back to being a menace.
Yeah.
And at the end of that season, he was like, I done this, so let's go back to being crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be fun seeing it. Hopefully he comes back in this season. If not, whatever.
Yeah. We'll
But
see.
I hope there's a lot of people I'm hoping to see this season.
But the droid announces some pirates making some trouble in Grief Karga's neighborhood and everything. Vane. And so in the courtyard, they go there. Grief is like, hey man, like, this ain't a bar anymore. It's a school.
Right.
The pirate's like, yeah, but we killed a bunch of people in here, and it was a bar.
It's a bar.
And
He's
so
like, I'm making it a bar.
So like, just serve me the drink, and it'll be fine.
Grief's like, come back to my place. They have this standoff. Mandalorian's kind of just doing his gangster lean. And he's just like, we good? And Grief blasts...
Van.
Yeah, blasts his blaster out of it. Once Vane kind of takes his blaster out, Grief reminds everyone that I haven't lost it. You know what I mean? Yeah. He hasn't lost it completely. He's still got that dog in him.
I lead here for a reason. Still, like, you know, I ain't lost the stuff yet.
Yeah, I got these droids behind me carrying my rope, but pow, gets Vane, and then Mandalorian just everyone else because they were about to go off and
just murks the rest of them.
Yeah.
And then this is where you were talking about the marshal and everything like that. Is like where we get the conversation about Dune and like where she went and everything. And then this is also where we get the droid talk of where like
they're under that statue.
Yeah. Because they moved from the courtyard back to like the courtyard center where that statue or whatever the city center where that statue is of IG-11. The Mandalorian's like, hey, I like Grief Karga's like, oh, I'm sorry that I didn't realize that this was strictly a business call and not like a you retirement kind of call.
Right.
And it's like I don't know if being going from a Mandalorian to being a marshal is like really a retirement thing, but I digress. We can have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm still trying to be a Mandalorian, man. Like, get off me. I got this whole mission ahead of me, but I need help bringing IG-11 back for that mission.
Yeah,
totally not down for you to be your marshal. Let's get this guy up and running. And Grief's like, I got some peeps for you. Mm-hmm. And when he shows him, I forget his name. What is it? Is that guy?
Babu Frick.
Babu Frick. Yeah.
Babu
Frick shows he doesn't show up, but his species.
His Azalian species.
Yeah, his species shows up, and you see them, and it's maybe one of the cutest scenes. Ever.
Well, hold on. Before they get IG-11 there, the Mandalorian tries to hook up IG-11. He gets IG-11.
Oh, yeah.
He gets IG-11 hooked up to a power source.
This is hilarious.
And long and short, IG-11 defaulted to his original programming.
Yeah, to kill Grogu.
And that original programming was to kill the little guy.
Yeah.
Little Grogu. Little Grogu.
Yeah.
Little guy.
So
right
they
here.
realize, they can bring him back, but little Grogu. So they're throwing Grogu around, and just basically trying not to get him. And this is when you also see the droid. Basically, the droid saves him again.
Yeah.
This is another droid saving the day. But basically the butler droid of Grief pushes Grief, which is funny. Pushes Grief's statue of
like
himself that's in
bust.
his office, and bust of himself onto the IG-11 unit, breaking him further, which is like, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, back to square one. And then this is when Grief's like, I got some peeps. If anyone's gonna be able to bring him back, I got some people.
Yeah.
You could trust, and these are
the Azalian.
Yeah.
The Azalian. And oh man, it's so funny. They're like, it's broken.
Yeah, they're so funny. They're little like squeaky voices, and then
no fix.
This is when Grogu's
they're like, no fix.
Grogu's like, I want one. I want it forever, and he just like hugging him.
No, he's not a pet.
Yeah, he's not a pet. It's so cute, and he just keeps like wanting to. And they're like, we can't fix.
Well,
this
here's the thing. I'm also worried about Grogu wanting to hug, turn, and then try and eat it.
Yeah. His hug, yeah. I mean, you get that feeling sometimes. Something so cute, you just want to eat it.
I just want to eat it.
Yeah.
I just want to eat you all.
Yeah, but
isn't that what your aunt says?
Right. But yeah, these little guys tell him that we need a memory unit that you don't have.
Yeah.
This thing is busted and you don't have one, and they're really hard to get. So you might as well just give up now. And Din's not taking that for an answer. He needs IG-11.
Mm-hmm.
He's not taking no for an answer with this, apparently.
Which
I'm down.
Right?
IG-11's one of the greatest, but also, whatever.
So I still love it though at the fact that like Mando's like, well, if I can get you this part, can you fix them? Yeah, fix. Yeah, we fix. And it's like so funny.
Yeah.
But the best thing is the travel here. This little bit of like where they leave Navarro and they start like getting ready to like jump to hyperspace and stuff. Mandalorian is teaching Grogu how to like read maps and like calculations.
Very interesting scene because that seems like foreshadowing to me.
Yeah,
you don't just show things like that. Well, clearly, he's teaching them to do that because it's like there's more than just fighting. He says Mandalorians do more than just fight. We navigate everywhere, so that way, wherever you are, you're not lost.
Yeah.
Basically, wherever you are, you make home.
Yeah.
And that's very. We talk about we watch the Bad Batch. Very Bad Batch. Wherever where we are is home, and that's kind of that's kind of what's going on right now. It's just him teaching them different ways to be Mandalorian. That's one of them. Navigate through the universe.
Yep. And it was just beautiful. And then we get Van coming back. Her Vane coming back, doing his little pirate attack.
Mm-hmm. And, this part's great because like you see like the reptilian, Bosk type of guy, and it's just a bunch of cool characters. They do the practical effects, and it's just awesome to see these practical effects in use. because you know at this point it's probably more expensive to use practical effects, but they're going out of their way to do it because it looks so great, and it lasts longer than CG lasts in the way that, you know, Star Wars still kind of looks great because there's practical effects with other things, but yeah, it's.
Well,
CG could look as great as ever, but in 10 years from now, you're going to notice it's CG more.
You build it, and then you use the CG to expand it.
Yeah, and it's great. It's so great because, you know it takes more time and money and effort and all these other things that 10 years ago it wouldn't have, but they were still doing it. But anyway, it's so cool to see these actual makeup and that stuff come back. It's great. And these pirates are pretty cool.
Dude, I just love on how, so he gets 3, and then he's flying around the asteroid field. 3 more.
Which I love an asteroid field fight.
And then
it's not Star Wars without an asteroid field.
The way he picks him off though is literally awesome.
Yeah, he makes him kind of work against himself,
like just hiding behind random
and the helmet
beds,
showing the reflection of the asteroids above his head and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just, and he's going kind of upside down on it. It's just very cool scene, and Grogu's loving it. Yeah, Grogu is like, yes. I am not alive without danger. My man is just the best. He loves all this. But yeah, so it's just basically him and Vane left.
And, we gotta... Basically, Vane tricks the Mandalorian into finding the big pirate ship with the captain and everything there. And they get a target lock on their ship and everything. And Mandalorian is like...
he hears this...
He hears the offer...
from this guy who's so cool looking. He
looks like Swamp Thing in space.
Yeah, exactly. Swamp Thing. Yeah, he's so cool. Davy Jones.
Oh, that's a good call too.
He looks like somebody, like a old school monster, 80s type of villain. It was so cool. It almost looked like something from Ninja Turtles. Yeah. It looked like what's that guy in the Ninja Turtles? Like, who's got the Uzi?
Muckman.
Yeah, he looked like that guy too. Like, he looks like all these characters, but it's a character I've never seen before in Star Wars. I've never seen their race or anything, but it was very pirate. Yeah. He had this big ship compared to, them, and Mandalorian's basically, or Din's basically like, you just don't trust the pirate.
You never trust the pirate.
Listen to this guy's
You never trust the pirate, and then he just blasts off into hyperspace.
Yep, he dips, but that's not going to be the last we see of these guys, and that was
Absolutely.
cool. So again, they're setting up all these little.
Well, we know it's not
going to be.
We know it's not going to be the last because these pirates told in front of Din and Grief when they were on the planet that they helped slaughter people here to give control back to this town. Mm-hmm. So and then at the end of that, as Vane's running away before he attacks the Mandalorian, the Mandalorian, Din, is even like, are you sure you want to let him just run away? He's like, yeah, he'll let other people know that Navarro is no longer pirate safe.
Yeah.
And then with this here, yeah, dude. We're
nail in the coffin that this is going to be seen again.
We're going to see some more.
Because I almost didn't expect Vane to show up that quickly again.
We've got 7 more episodes after this. We're going to see these guys at least one more time, and I'm super
And
stoked
also,
about
when
it.
they mentioned about Cara Dune, they mentioned about our homie Moff Gideon, and he's getting basically the New Republic is giving him a trial right now, and I wonder if we'll catch up with him.
Yeah,
because it seems like a waste of a character if they don't use him again, at least for some acting.
Yeah. I mean, it's Giancarlo Esposito.
That's what I mean. He's a great. Why would you waste such a great actor?
Yeah, he's so good.
He's still alive. Why would you not?
Why would you not do something with him?
And how did he even get the Darksaber? That we never got that story because last we saw the Darksaber, it was with Bo-Katan. And then,
before the
because Sabine gives it to Bo-Katan, and that's why the armorer doesn't look at Bo-Katan. I think the armorer hates Bo-Katan. Yeah. Bo-Katan, we'll learn in a minute, but it's kind of mutual. Yeah. But it was with her last time we saw it on Rebels. Right. But Sabine only gave it to her. And that's not how you're supposed to get the Darksaber. You're supposed to win it through battle, which Din did.
Yeah.
Din won it through battle from Gideon. How did Gideon get it from Bo-Katan? I have no idea. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know that. We don't know that part, which I'm hoping. So let's just dive into this last little bit here. We get to Castle Calvala, And it's
a cool castle. It's clearly made in like the Mandalorian design.
Well, it isn't it's a plan. It's in a like Din is explaining this to Grogu. Like this is a planet in the Mandalorian system. This is a Mandalorian castle. We learned that the castle's name is Kavala as they talk. And who does he talk to? Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've come to join you. And then
Bo-Katan at this point is annoyed with Din. She does not necessarily love Din right now because he did win the Darksaber in the right way, and she sees that as a threat. There's no way, and she's sitting on the throne like, it's over. There's nothing I could do now. Like you have the thing I needed, and you got it the legit way. People will follow you, and you're following these crazy people trying to become more part of them when you have all this power in your hand. You don't even know what to do with it. Because
Din's even like, I've come to join you, and she's like, join what? My forces melted away. Like,
remember he's what about the stuff we took?
I don't have a Darksaber. Like, what about the stolen fleet? They're off being mercenaries.
Right.
And then this is awesome though, where Katie Sackhoff, Bo-Katan is like, you gave up on Mandalore, like your people, your cult gave up on Mandalore long before the Purge and stuff,
Yeah, she blames them for what happened at the Purge. Basically, it seems like seems like she blames them for the fracture that happened in Mandalorian, which led to the Mandalorian Civil War. And all that, which led for the Empire to be able to attack Mandalore. Yeah. So she blames this fracture on the Death Watch. Yeah. Which is the cult that she's referring to, which is now the Children of the Watch, whatever you want to call it, has turned into this religious-like organization. It very, very much seems like they're tapped into some spiritual thing, like the Force, like something else. They're tapped into something else.
And, she's like, there's nothing left of Mandalore. There's nothing left to go home to.
Yeah, she doesn't even seem to believe in the mystical part of it anyway. Yeah. She's like, and even if there was that, it's not there anymore. Yeah. Whatever you're talking about, this superstition, very Han Solo. This
superstitious
this stuff, this hokum that you believe in. Like she's very much the skeptic here.
Like the one thing we do learn though is that in Bo-Katan's dismissal of the lore and everything, we learned that in these living waters in the mines of in Mandalore, where you can get your transgression forgiven, it's where the Beskar ore comes from.
That's where they used to make
their armor and everything. It's the one thing that Bo-Katan says is the one thing of that's only true
I don't know about your
it.
mystical stuff, but this is where we used to make the Beskar, and this is exactly what you're looking for. But hey, anyway, she's annoyed. She does not like Din at this point, but it also seems like she's reluctantly gonna help him.
But she does say, the mines are beneath the Civic Center in the city of Sandari. Yep. And he's like, I'll find out if the planet really is poisoned and no longer viable. But if it is, I'll come back and I'll let you know. And let's it seems like Din wants to then restore Mandalore, which will be interesting here, because basically this is the end of the episode then, because they stop having their conversation, they turn and he kind of walks away. He turns, looks at the camera, and then it's
very short episode.
And then it's a cut to black.
Seems
episode.
Short at least, yeah. But this is basically the end of the episode right here. And he's got the hope. Yeah. That's so desperately needed right now. He has hope. Weirdly he needs hope, because he can't exist without it. Yeah. Because otherwise he's no longer Mandalorian, and what does he do then? Right. And he's not ready to face that. And what does it even mean to be Mandalorian? That's, I think, a question that keeps coming up over this.
And what I am wondering though is, what if
he doesn't seem to want to lead?
He may not. He doesn't seem like.
But the best leaders don't.
Usually don't. But I wonder if he gets his forgiveness, if he will actually reach out to Bo, because he is the true rightful leader of Mandalore. But if he will actually try and truly unite, have his faction of people, of the religious cultist people,
Yeah,
her
or well, yeah, he's gonna come to
her
his own.
non-believers and try and like meld them all together. And be
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say
be-
it's all
being
gonna
like,
be a new thing, right? Din sees the hypocrisies on both sides, right? I think at the end of it, that's kind of what we're gonna see is, you guys are a little too much on this thing, and you guys are a little too much on this thing. Why don't we work together? Like, and that's kind of I do think he's the piece, but who really is the piece is Grogu, right?
Yeah.
Because this whole thing started like Mandalorians versus Jedi, which is like this other type of infighting, and there's only been one other Jedi / Mandalorian, and
that was Tar Vizsla.
Yeah, exactly. That was Tar Vizsla who created the Darksaber.
For
and
that reason,
going full circle. You know what I mean? And we're seeing Grogu is the Mandalorian in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's who. Not that Din isn't, but it's very much Grogu is the Mandalorian in training.
It'll be so interesting to see if Grogu
gets a little Mandalorian outfit, bro.
If he gets a little Mandalorian outfit,
how he's gonna hold
and
the Darksaber
and hang in the Darksaber off.
Because he's too little to hold it, so he'd have to like do the Force with it, which is also I'm down. But anyway, he can get bigger. Is he gonna talk? Oh. There's a lot of Grogu questions I got, and there's a lot of like, are they gonna get into Bo-Katan's sister, Duchess Satine, who was basically outed by Bo-Katan and like kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit, and then Bo joins the Death Watch and goes against them and blah blah blah. And
Obi-Wan loved her.
Yeah, and that was the one Obi-Wan supposedly had a child with, and like a lot of people think, or like had a relationship with at the very least. I wonder if they'll get into her. I wonder if they'll talk about Maul, because they're so related to the story of the Darksaber, and will they even get into that more? Because I see Bo going with him to Mandalore, like as a reluctant kind of like, whatever, I got nothing else to do. You know what I mean? And like maybe kind of falling into like a motherly role for Grogu.
Possibly. Maybe. I don't know.
Because like Grogu clearly needs that too.
Yeah, he needs a like.
You can't just be all let's fight all the time. You know
yeah.
I mean? Not that she's not like that though too, but
Right, she can teach him.
Maybe she'll learn to be a little more empathetic too through the process.
Absolutely. But I think we're gonna wrap this up here. This is I'm Jimmy with the Triple C Collective.
I'm Collin
with the Triple C Collective. We want to thank you all for joining us. We hope you all stay safe. Please like and subscribe to this video. And of course, this is the way.
Is the way.